A critical component of any ministry, particularly of Youth for Christ, is leadership development, leadership growth. And one of the classic metaphors of leadership growth is a ladder. So we climb this thing called a corporate ladder, and we work our way up into leadership. But in Youth for Christ, it's just the opposite. We're all about servant leadership, serving one another. But out of over 50,000 staff and volunteers around the world, we have to have a leadership component. And I want to give you another metaphor that gives you a different look at a leadership continuum. So I want to use an arrow to describe this. Now, I love this metaphor because God is our heavenly archer. And he shoots us off into the mission of reaching every teenager on planet Earth with the gospel. So how do we do this as leaders? How do we come together as different generations, cross-pollinating, cross-generationally? So the arrow, at this end of the arrow, we have a pointy end. It's the business end of the arrow. And at this end of the arrow, we'd like to see more and more of our younger leaders. Now, there was a season when I, as a senior leader, was at this end, but more and more Youth for Christ needs to empower young leaders for mission. And we need to release them for mission. We need to move ourselves to this other end of the arrow. Now, what's at the other end of the arrow? There are feathers. Now, it's interesting that at this end, the feathers, it's sort of a lighter end of the arrow. Classically, in senior leadership, you think as you mature, as you grow, as you age, as you work your way up the ladder, you become more and more heavy-handed and controlling. But it's just the opposite in kingdom terms. We become lighter, but more directional. Without these feathers, this pointy end would not know where to go. So it's both and. It's a younger generation working with veterans on behalf of an entire generation. So I hope you're encouraged by this because we're both on the arrow, young and old, on behalf of an entire generation, by God's grace and for His glory.